Do you smell what the Cronin is cooking? Welcome, everybody. We are Marvelous Musings. I'm Agraj, and that's Poomin.
What's up? Hi.
So Poomin's our new guest for today. Naranjan did not say hi, I'm Naranjan, but I guess that's because we all know it's Naranjan and we all love Naranjan so much. Thor: Love and Thunder yesterday, so we watched that yesterday. What do you guys think?
It's mid. It was mid. Minion solos.
The humor just didn't stop. Even in serious moments, the humor just didn't stop.
I guess that's very Taika Waititi. You made a really good point there, and that's a lot to do with Taika Waititi's style, which is just sort of hammering in this idea of comedy and
unintended hammering.
Comedy and this lighthearted atmosphere throughout. So even in the most serious of moments, you still felt that it was a lighthearted and fun movie throughout. So that's why I enjoyed the movie, because it at no point got boring to me. For me, I just thought it was. I'd say if I had something good to say about the movie, it would be that it was consistently enjoyable.
I do want to talk about another thing. With Thor: Love and Thunder, it's known to be one of the shortest Marvel movies. I think it was the shortest. I'm a horrible Marvel fan. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was only 2 hours long. And 2 hours. It was roughly 2 hours long, and it was affected quite a bit by the lack of. Ranjan, why are you shaking your head?
Because you said it was the shortest movie.
Like I said, I'm a horrible Marvel fan. Naranjan, thank you for pointing out that I was wrong. Moving on. It was, I think, impacted by the extremely short runtime, especially some key character development for Thor, Jane, and for Thor. All of those could have been fleshed out.
Yeah.
Right. Jodie. Yeah.
Jodie Foster.
No. You mean Jane Fonda, right?
Oh, Jane Fonda. My bad.
Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention one important thing. Spoiler warning.
Oh yeah. Oh, you gotta get that in there.
That's too late. That's too late. I think as a movie, it's it would be best enjoyed if you had your brain turned off, because it is pretty fun to watch. A lot of people kind of said that it was boring. It didn't live up to expectations, and I think if you really want to get the most out of it, it's just you have to turn off your brain, because if you really think about it, there's a lot of parts in the movie where you kind of go huh? There's this one scene where Thor kind of gives his power to the kids, and they go ham on the shadow monsters. And he could have done that in the village, and he could have saved so many people's lives, but no, fuck them.
I sort of just say it might be a result of not so well thought through writing, and I don't want to say that because I know Taika Waititi wrote it. He wrote the script and he directed it, so it's hard for me to say that considering how much of a Taika Waititi fan. I mean, our very last episode, I was talking about how much I love Taika Waititi's direction, and I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed by this film because I was expecting it within the 2 hour time that they had. I was expecting it to be more punchy, and I was expecting it to be sort of well constructed as a plot, but I found that the pacing was quite off.
So the way the movie was concluded, again, massive spoiler warning, or maybe I just won't say it specifically, where you have to think, well, shit, why didn't you just say that earlier? We could have just, skipped the entire movie and just not had this entire thing happen.
Well, what you said about turning your brain off for movies, I do that for all movies just so I don't hear negative thoughts anyway. So I keep a clean slate for every movie I watch in the theaters or at home. Yeah, and I still pretty much enjoyed the movie, and inconsistencies will exist anyway. It's a large cinematic universe, so some sort of inconsistencies are expected, right? Thor told Gore to just revive his daughter because he has the power to do so, and the entire movie could be skipped. That problem also existed in No Way Home, where Doctor Strange told Peter that he could have just contacted the university and reconsider their acceptance. So I didn't really mind it. So I'm hoping the unresolved questions will be fixed in Thor 5 or a Hercules movie.
But I think there is one thing to note that a lot of there were more inconsistencies in this film than I noticed in many other Marvel films. And that one about the ending that you mentioned is an inconsistency, but it's not one that I had too much of an issue with. Mainly because Gore was, he was corrupted by the Necro Sword. So I find that to be less of an inconsistency and more of a thing that, he didn't realize that was something he could do because the Necro Sword was telling him, kill all the gods. When it broke, he was like, oh, crap. Well, Guess I could have done that. But I'm talking more about inconsistencies like the fact that Thor could use the lightning bolt to teleport. And also the one that Poomin mentioned, which made very little sense to me. And it felt more like plot armor that was just made to help move the story along very quickly without much thought to it, which is a recurring theme in this movie if you look at it. Right from the beginning, where we see Gore's entire storyline summed up in 2.5 minutes. And that means his entire storyline of his race of people dying, him having to bury his own daughter, and then seeing a god, and then killing that god. That entire thing that happens in an entire comic book happens within 2.5 minutes. And I think right off the bat, I realized that there was going to be a pacing issue with it.
At the end of the day, I understand the need to have a shorter movie, but considering the length of other Marvel movies, I really don't see how the movie would have been hurt by having more explanation. And somehow, given that it's Disney, I don't think the problem was money.
I love a good psychopathic villain.
I mean, I really enjoyed it because Christian Bale's acting is phenomenal. So as expected, the character was acted out phenomenally. It was beautiful. Something that did truly warm my heart was that they used the children of the actors. So all the actors' children were in the movie. So Gore's daughter was played by it was Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I liked Zeus a lot. He was a bit of a dick and a scaredy cat, but he was pretty funny.
That was the point of his character, though, to be a dick and a scaredy cat.
I like
so like, just to clarify, he's still alive, right?
He's still alive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think considering everything that's happened in Star Wars, I think Disney has made it clear that people just don't die after getting stabbed straight through the gut. Like that just doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, he's not a person. He's a god.
Yeah.
And it's not his
Well,
gut.
beings.
He didn't
don't.
get stabbed through the gut. He got stabbed.
Like for like a character that big, as powerful as Zeus, the god of gods, like for him to be killed that easily, that's just a waste.
It's just, I think it just goes to show that Thor is more powerful than anyone realizes, right? Thor is quite often, especially by people who consider him to be their enemy. He's often underestimated when he shouldn't be. Like we, the audience, know Thor should never be underestimated, but to other characters in the universe, he often is. So I think that was a beautiful moment to just see how Thor just blasted right through Zeus, challenging the king of the gods, and as a result, we will now be seeing the king of the gods send his own Boba Fett after Thor, his son, Hercules. And audience members.
This was a really good representation of Thor. This was a really good representation of Zeus, actually, because no mention of Zeus is complete without also mentioning that he is a complete and total dickhead, right, from mythology up until now. So this worked. Zeus being a complete dickhead and coward, it works. And also him being out and bloodthirsty and hungry for revenge also works. So I think that's a good setup for the future.
Him being completely comedic also works because it was pretty funny.
In Greek mythology, in Greek mythology, gods are actually feared. They're worshipped, but out of fear, not out of respect. So Zeus sort of that's a sort of idea that started with gods like Zeus who torment the people that worship them. But yeah, we should definitely talk about Herc.
Brett Goldstein. He's a Chad. Oh my god.
I mean,
you see his head's like built like a boulder.
Oh dear God, he's a beautiful man.
You're getting a simp counter.
What we've seen of Hercules in mythology is that he is an arrogant, yet extremely brave and courageous warrior. Some might say somewhat like Thor. So I'm actually excited to see them face off in a future Marvel project, which at the moment we don't know what it is. Maybe it'll be Thor 5, maybe as Nanjan said, a Hercules movie. Maybe
I'm hoping it's a Hercules movie. I don't really want to see Thor 5.
We know we'll see him in the future at some point. Whatever they do with Thor in the future, I just hope that the script blows me out of the water. Because
it's Taika Waititi.
He's a dad now.
Dad god.
He's an uncle.
Yeah.
He's an uncle. He's an uncle.
Uncle.
This was the first and probably only movie that made me care about Jane.
Oh, very accurate.
That's true.
All in all, while this movie may not have been the best Marvel movie in Phase 4 or in general, I'd say it was certainly an enjoyable one that did move the story of Thor Odinson further, and it did help us sort of pave the way for some new storylines in the MCU, such as maybe a Thor dad arc, and certainly something to do with Hercules, which at the moment we don't.
Stormbreaker's jealousy. Stormbreaker's
Oh
jealousy.
yeah, definitely. But
And a dad god.
whatever happens with Taika Waititi and the MCU and Thor, I hope that the next script blows me out of the water, and I hope the next movie is, more well thought through than this one was.
And if things go wrong, then we burn down the house and blame Winston Churchill.
Okay.
And I hope we get more Dwayne The Rock.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Dwayne the Rock,
Mustache guy. I'm not sure why they added mustache. But yeah.
because it made him
I
look
don't
more
mind the
macho.
mustache.
I hate it.
Very
Yes.
manly. Very manly.
Do you
Beautiful.
smell what the Cronin is cooking?
You guys, please do like and subscribe and share the
And turn on
video and
notifications.
turn on notifications and follow
And
us
comment, because you can actually do that now.
Oh yeah, and comment and follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. We'll see
Thank
you guys
you very
next
much,
time.
ladies and gentlemen.